All right, we have a Platinum ZvP here. Let's see what's going on with this. We're looking from the Zerg's perspective. And what does the Reddit post say? Zerg's not clicking for me. I got my Protoss account to Diamond with a 65% win rate. I'm struggling through mid-plat with Zerg. Zerg's my favorite race, but I feel lost. Okay. I feel like I did damage my early pressure, and he shouldn't have been able to come back, but he did. All right. Let's jump right into it and let's see what you did, man. So first off, we're 12 pooling. Okay, so 12 pool can absolutely go into a macro build, but if we don't do enough damage, we're just really, really behind. So we'll be the judge of that. We'll see how much damage we did. I don't like this. When we go 12 pool, we do not get a gas. We just don't, because we need everything on minerals. After our pool finishes, the first 3 larvae, we'll have 2 larvae, and then as soon as our pool finishes, our 3rd larva will pop at the exact same time. We make our 6 lings, then we pull a drone down and we expand. Then we make another 2 lings, and then we make another 2 lings. So we go up to a grand total of 10 zerglings when we 12 pool. What is our Protoss opponent doing? Standard to me. We're making a drone. Okay, we're still making drones. Okay, so we're doing 12 pool incredibly wrong. By doing this way, we've shot ourselves in the foot so hard already. When we go for a 12 pool, we are behind economically. But the trade-off is we have 10 zerglings going across the map. They're going to do a lot of damage, and if they don't outright win us the game, they'll do enough damage that we'll be ahead economically and we'll have map control. By doing this, we've just not expanded, we're behind on workers, and we're not making lings. We have no way to pressure. We're just literally giving our opponent a lead for no reason. So how do we properly 12 pool? Well, 12 pool, drone, 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 overlord, nothing else. As soon as our spawning pool finishes, 6 lings queue up, then we expand, then 2 more, then 2 more for a grand total of 10. He's gonna natural block you. Little does he know he's up against the weirdest build ever. Your name's Macro Enjoyer, and you're 12 pooling. Come on, man. That's greasy. Okay. Well, we're gonna hit a supply block. We do have an overlord coming. Never mind. Okay. So we're staying on gas. In lower leagues, you're only platinum. I'm not gonna hit you too hard, but once we have 100 gas in Zerg versus Terran and Zerg versus Protoss, we can pull 2 drones off because we only need ling speed. In Zerg versus Zerg, we never pull off of gas, but whatever. Well, I would really like to see it pull off here because, you know, we're not even fully saturated on minerals now. We are, but okay. So when you talk about early damage, your 12 pool should have already been in and doing damage. So we're super late. So I don't know what you mean by early damage.
Our pylon is under attack.
Supply blocked.
Ready.
Immediately into layer. We're still on 1 hatch, man. Your window of opportunity has come and gone. Anything we throw at the Protoss now, he doesn't even have to deviate from a standard macro build. He'll be able to hold it.
Swarm has evolved.
We're floating a lot of money for being on 1 base. Oh, okay, we're finally expanding. So if you were taking your 3rd right now, I'd say it's, you know, a decent time. A little late, but we're just taking our natural. As a general rule of thumb, when you're playing Zerg in a macro style, we always want to be at least 1 base ahead of our opponents at all times. With the exception of ZVZ, obviously you're going to be even, but if a Protoss is on 2 base, we need to be on 3. If a Terran's on 3 base, we need to be on 4. And the reason being is Zerg units favor quantity over quality. Therefore, we need an economy to constantly keep replenishing them. Okay, we're going for a 1 base Nidus Speedling. There is a build that does this. This was before Nidus got changed, but you can accomplish this. However, if you do that build properly, the Nidus would have popped at 330. So we're already very, very late. This is a bad spot to put a Nidus. He has vision of that. Now, we don't know there's a pylon here, but, I mean, so it doesn't really matter, but if there wasn't a pylon here, this would be a better spot because he can see this going up. The whole idea of doing a Nidus like this is putting it in a place that he doesn't have vision so that he won't know until he hears the scream. So our opponent sees it. Shield battery goes down. Void Ray is about to pop. Is any damage going to get done from this Nidus? We'll see. Okay, I just want you to keep in mind, you need to kill a lot of probes to just be even. It's 19 workers to 39. We could kill 20 probes and that wouldn't be enough.
I'm here in the shadows. Swarm forces under attack.
Okay, so the entire time we're doing this, it's been, how long has it been? From the moment of attack, I want you to watch your production time. So that was like a solid 30 seconds of nothing being produced. We have a queen back home with energy, no inject. We have no queen here, no inject. We're not making drones, we're not transitioning, well now we're droning, but we could have been droning this whole time. And keep in mind, we're still only on 2 hatcheries, which is a big deal because all Zerg units come from the hatchery. So not only are we behind on bases, we're behind on production. We don't have the capability. Like, he could throw down 3 or 4 more gateways to have a ton more production and go all in. We can't. We literally have 2 hatcheries. And since we're not injecting, we have a maximum of 6 larvae at any given time, which means at any time we need to make a bunch of units, we can make a total of 6. That's not going to work out too well for us. So we did kill a lot of workers. We killed 32. Here's the problem with that. Like I said, we're still not, just because we're ahead temporarily, doesn't mean we're ahead in this game. He's at 17 probes to our 30 drones, except he's got 2 base with chrono boost. So he can get workers out a lot faster than we can. We have no inject, no inject. We're going in for a Hydralisk Den. We have no intention of expanding. So we're not doing ourselves any favors. Yes, you got a lot of damage done, but I would argue you did just as much damage as you did to him, to yourself, by not droning, staying on 1 base forever, and really messing up your 12 pool. Like the initial, like at the 6, I shouldn't even say, like at the 10-minute mark, if you have a couple drones that are idle, it's not nearly as big of a deal as the first 5 minutes, even if 1 drone is idle. That's a big deal because we are so heavily reliant on our mineral income and we have no excess of it. We're on 1 base saturation, so we need to be as effective as possible. So this would be the normal, this would actually be a late timing for your 4th. The 4th typically goes down around the 6-minute mark.
Mineral cluster.
So let's take a pause here. He's climbed his way back up to the point where you're pretty much even on workers. You did a lot of damage, and you didn't exactly get ahead economically that far, nor did you counter again and go all in and end the game. You pretty much just went, you saw the fork in the road, and you saw like economy, army, end the game, and you went straight down the middle. I'm going to make a couple drones and a couple units, and I'm going to leave my opponent alone to recoup the damage that we just did. That's how he came back.
Mineral field exhausted.
We really need to work on our injects.
New
Like,
First Queen ready.
there we go.
Mutation complete.
So we do have double Evo. Sorry, I got notifications from scrolling up. There we go. So we have double Evo, but we're not utilizing it. We do have +1 ranged. I mean, that's something. We have no Hydralisk upgrades. Those are very important. And we're playing completely blind. We have no idea if our opponent said fuck it and threw down three more gates and was going to go all in. We have no idea if he just expanded twice behind this and now he's ahead of us economically. We have no idea if he's massing carriers. We don't know. And Hydralisks, well, they're a decent all-around unit. You know what beats Hydralisks? A lot of Protoss units. Like, a lot of them. So, there we go. We at least have some changelings, something to go out and scout. But, like, he's pulled ahead in workers again. So, throw the damage that you did out the window. Again, man, it didn't really matter. Doing damage is one thing, but you also have to be able to capitalize on it. You have to realize what kind of position you're in, and you were totally fine to go all in and win the game because you did kill 32 probes, but you were also okay to double expand and get ahead super far economically. But we just didn't do either. Hydralisk upgrades, we're finally starting, alright. We have Carapace and range +2. Hey, we're taking a fourth.
Under attack.
Okay, so the changeling went in, but we didn't actually see what is being built. I mean, I know these are gateways, but do you? You can kind of tell, as you play longer, you'll eventually be able to tell, for the most part, what a building is just by looking at the size of the circle. Like, these are all gateways. But these are also gateways. We don't see them, but they look a little different when they're starting out. It doesn't really matter, but point is, we saw buildings going down in mass, and we don't know what they are. So our Protoss opponent right now is on 3 gateways, and he's going up to 9. That's a weird number. Does he have Storm? No, but he has the gas. I don't know why he's delaying it. So it looks like he's going to go charge a lot of Mortal Archon, which is the like all-around cookie-cutter best Protoss army comp. You can beat pretty much anything in the game with Charge a Lot of Mortal Archon if it's played well. What does Charge a Lot of Mortal Archon beat? You're damn right it beats pure Hydralisk. We're going into Lurkers. I mean, I like it, but we're going to have to get a lot of Lurkers out because he's only got 2 Immortals. I mean, he is producing some more now, but I wouldn't exactly say Immortals like hard counter Lurkers, but Immortals do very good against Lurkers. Like, they trade super well. The only problem is they don't outrange them, so they're going to be taking Lurker shots the whole time, but enough Immortals will delete Lurkers. So, we're attacking here. I'm going to pause it. How many Hydralisks do we have? 32. Is there 32 here? No. There is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22 Hydralisks right here. We have no idea what our opponent has. Like, In theory, we could win this fight if it was out in the open, but we're putting ourselves into a very small choke. If he was smarter, he would have Storm by now, and 1 or 2 decent Storms would delete these Hydras, because look how small this area that we're engaging in is. We're coming in from one angle and one angle only, which is a Protoss or Terran's dream when they're fighting a Zerg player. We're going to donate these Hydralisks for not a lot of damage done. And we also, just something to point out, we took that fight seconds away from our +2 being finished. If your upgrades are about to finish, don't take a fight until they're done. No inject. We do have 1 inject. We do have 1 inject. We're behind on workers. We're going into a Baneling nest at the 12-minute mark. Like, I mean, this Protoss should be thinking carriers, because he is going into a fleet beak, and like, he's actually even a bit late on going for carriers. So, Banelings, while they'll always be useful for run-bys and stuff, we need to start thinking about a Spire, man. Your late game go-to in PvZ or ZvP is going to be Broodlords. We're making 28 Banelings. And I just don't know the damage we're going to get done with them. Because we have no melee upgrades. When we play Ling Bane, so when you're playing a Hydra Ling Bane versus Protoss, you have to remember that the core of your army is Ling Bane with Hydralisk support. You're playing it vice versa. You're playing Hydralisk with Ling Bane support. The Banelings are what's actually going to do the damage, not the Hydralisks. While they do damage and they do help, the Banelings are where the real damage is coming from. So we're doing this ass backwards.
Queen birth successful.
We don't have Baneling speed yet. How close is it to being done? Just about done. Always finish your upgrades before you take the fight. Baneling speed would have helped a lot here. He still doesn't have Storm. I don't know what he's doing. But look at the Archons. We're fighting into a shield battery. We're only coming in from one angle. We're not doing run-bys. I mean, he's got cannons set up everywhere, but like, we could have slipped some Lings in here, done some damage. We're just always coming in from one angle. And now the carriers are out. We have no money in the bank. Our upgrades are not fantastic. And I have a feeling we're just going to keep throwing Hydralisks at them and keep losing them. It's kind of like jumping at a brick wall over and over and expecting to break it. You're not. You're just going to continuously hurt yourself.
Mineral field.
So we're finally getting a Spire.
Restore forces under attack.
We do not have a Hive, nor do we even have one started. So that's going to be a big problem, because now we don't have access to Vipers, we can't get Broodlords, and our 3-3 is locked. Okay, we do... What are we getting? Is that... Okay, so there is a Hive on the way. It's very late. The normal timing for a Hive is like 9 to 10 minutes. We have drones idle up here. Drones idle here. We do have one inject queued up. We do have an inject queued up. We have idle drones here. What is the army supply? He's ahead, and what does our army consist of? 52 Zerglings and 20 Hydralisks. I mean, his carrier count's stupidly small. But 4 carriers, 4 Archons, and 5 Immortals with some charge lot support, we'll beat this. If he had Storm, he could delete you. Storm absolutely ruins Zerglings, Banelings, and Hydralisks. He has the Templar Archives. I have no idea what he's doing. He's also not even getting air upgrades. He's going for all these carriers.
Queen birth successful.
This is weird, but this is Platinum. What can you expect? That's a terrible location for a Spire, because he's going to do run-bys and stuff, and we're just going to give away a Spire for free. Look at the wall this dude has built. This is like a Donald Trump want-to-be wall. We're going to throw away our Banelings for a couple of gateways that our Hydralisks could have beaten anyway. So we're just throwing away money. There's some decent Baneling connects. But now in come the charge lots, and we have no Banelings because we used them all blowing up the gateways that were going to die already.
Swarm forces under attack.
At this point, man, the losses, while he's definitely taken a lot of losses himself, they're starting to get out of hand. And we're going to remax with everything we have left on pure Hydralisk, aren't we? We're getting Vipers.
Mineral cluster expended.
Fucking right on, brother. It's not something you see very often in Platinum. Now let's see if they actually accomplish anything. Because even if they die, as long as they get some spells off, it'll be worthwhile. But if they just die for free, that's a lot of gas. That's right there, 2 Vipers, that's 400 gas. Like, we're getting it, we're in the late game. We're getting to the point where we have to be as efficient as possible because what we have is likely what we're going to have. We're going to have 1 more base, 2 more bases, but that's it. So let's pause. We have 13 Hydralisks, 12 Roaches, and 2 Vipers with no energy. Versus 7 Carriers, 5 Archons, 6 Immortals, and some charge lots. Does he still have... No, he doesn't have Storm. He's got a High Templar in his army. Like, why? Is he just trying to threaten you? We don't have the numbers. Viper died for absolutely nothing. They both died for absolutely nothing. GG. We're never going to be able to amass anything in time to deal with this army. So what did we do well? Well, we got a lot of probes killed, but we didn't do it as efficiently as we could have. Then what else did we do? Well, I mean, we eventually made drones. We eventually made an army. Very little, very late. My biggest takeaways from this, if we're going to be aggressive, learn aggressive openers for Zerg, because it's a lot different for a Zerg player to open up aggressive than it is for a Terran or Protoss. It's not as easy to transition out. So we need to know what we're doing. Then we need to scout. We need to make sure what our opponent's doing as a follow-up, because we played blindly that entire game. We need to get a little bit creep spread faster, and then we need to keep up with our injects. We need to spend our money, and we need to drone. We need to take expansions quicker. Hopefully this helped a little bit, but that is why your crippling attack early game didn't work. Good luck, have fun, man. Take care.